They sought everlasting youth through needles and scalpels, eventually starring in Hollywood's most terrifying horror exhibition, The Attack of the Melted Faces. Former symbols of beauty have become unidentifiable wax figures. Was this the surgeon's error, a curse of vanity, or both? From top supermodels to massive surgical mistakes, get ready for a shocking journey through the cosmetic disasters of the wealthy and elite. Don't forget to subscribe so you catch every upcoming plot twist. Linda Evangelista, from runway royalty to cool sculpting catastrophe. She famously didn't get out of bed for less than $10,000 per day, but she reportedly showed up for 7 sessions of cool sculpting. Yes, that same Linda Evangelista, the supermodel who dominated magazine covers like a runway empress, was diminished not by years, but by a fat-freezing disaster that became a beauty nightmare. During the 90s, Linda was invincible. Cheekbones that could slice glass, a stride that stopped the world. However, in 2015 and 2016, she chose to dissolve stubborn fat through a procedure that seemed more like a spa treatment than surgery. Non-invasive, they claimed. Safe, they vowed. What was her result? A rare side effect that under 1% of patients actually experience. Paradoxical adipose hyperplasia. Translation: instead of fat reduction, her chin, thighs, and chest swelled into hard, protruding masses. Cool sculpting shifted into cruel sculpting. She underwent surgery twice to correct it. No success. The harm was permanent. Her previously iconic face turned into a cautionary story. Her symmetry was ruined. Paparazzi stopped following her because fans hardly identified her. And in a society that expects everlasting youth from women, Linda preferred isolation over an explanation. From fashion queen to a cosmetic cautionary tale, Evangelista's experience isn't only about beauty failures. It's a haunting reminder that even the most perfect faces can fall prey to the quest for perfection. Lisa Rinna, the lips that sparked 1,000 memes. Before the Real Housewives scandals or meme-worthy meltdowns, Lisa Rinna's major plot twist didn't occur on television. It happened to her face, specifically her lips. Back in 1986, at 20, Lisa made a daring choice that would define her for decades: permanent silicone lip injections. Motivated by film, she desired large, bold, pouty lips. She definitely got them. Oh, she got them. Initially, it was her signature, the full-lipped style long before Kylie Jenner built a billion-dollar empire. However, what began as a beauty flex became a cosmetic curse. Over time, the silicone solidified, lumps appeared, and swelling followed. Her lips turned from a glamorous pout into a surgical experiment gone rogue. Fast forward 25 years. Lisa finally visited a Beverly Hills surgeon to extract scar tissue. It was too little, too late. The damage had set in like a disastrous Botox party. Her lips weren't the only feature receiving enhancements. Lisa embraced Botox, cheek fillers, and breast augmentation. By 2010, fans questioned if it was Lisa Rinna or a wax replica. By 2024, amid criticism and internet investigators analyzing her face, Lisa confessed. She acknowledged some fillers didn't sit right on her face. She even dissolved part of them. A brave move, but the public already viewed her journey as a guide for cosmetic errors. Was she resisting age, seeking relevance, or simply fixing what time altered? Regardless, Lisa's change warns us. Chasing perfection with needles can result in painful consequences. Joan Van Ark, the soap opera star who perhaps slipped on too much soap. Once America's darling in Knots Landing, Joan Van Ark possessed a delicate beauty that brightened television screens throughout the 70s and 80s. However, somewhere between her concluding scene and her initial facelift, the script went wrong. It began innocently enough. A rhinoplasty here, a small touch-up there. But the early 90s ushered in a complete obsession. First was the eyelid surgery, which left her appearing as if she hadn't blinked for 10 years. Then came the facelifts, several of them. Include chemical peels and sufficient Botox to freeze a large Thanksgiving turkey. Suddenly, the lady once famous for her warm facial expressions looked like she was constantly bracing for a heavy wind tunnel. By the 2000s, Joan's face had transformed into something resembling porcelain, taut, pale, and sunken around the eyes and mouth. Not even the most powerful filter on Instagram could possibly compete. When she showed up for the 40th anniversary of Knots Landing, fans didn't inquire, "Where is Valine?" They questioned, "What happened to her face?" Her lips seemed tighter than the program's budget during season 6. Her cheeks were elevated higher than a standard Beverly Hills rent check. Her eyes resembled twin saucers, wide, shocked, and emotionally distant. Joan didn't merely overdo it. She authored the manual on cosmetic excess. While Hollywood is often unforgiving toward aging actresses, Joan's narrative is a sharp reminder. Pursuing everlasting youth can happen at the expense of the identity that made you iconic. The Duchess of Alba. Royalty, riches, and a face frozen in time. She was one of the most titled women globally, a living fragment of European history. But Maria del Rosario Cayetana Fitz-James Stuart, the 18th Duchess of Alba, didn't only desire a legacy, she craved eternal youth. And let's just say that not even nobility can Botox its way out of biology. Born into wealth, power, and palaces, the Duchess could have aged elegantly with pearls and poetry. Instead, she selected plastic and peels. Beginning in the 1980s, she started a royal affair with the scalpel. Nose jobs, facelifts, lip fillers, Botox, you name it. Her goal? Timeless beauty. The outcome? Timeless confusion. By the time she walked down the aisle at age 85, marrying a man 24 years younger, because why not? The only thing more shocking than her third wedding was her appearance. Her face looked like a wax statue left too long in the Spanish sun. Stretched, shiny, and startling, it held little resemblance to the once delicate features that graced European tabloids. To make matters worse, she reportedly struggled with Melkerson-Rosenthal syndrome, a rare condition causing facial swelling. But instead of accepting it, she tried to battle it with surgery after surgery that only worsened things, like trying to fix a leak with glitter glue. Ultimately, not even her noble blood could shield her from the harsh glare of public scrutiny. And while she remained a beloved, eccentric figure in Spanish society, her face became the ultimate cautionary tale. Evidence that even with castles and crowns, you cannot outsmart time, only anger it. LaToya Jackson, a thriller in the mirror. People often say the apple doesn't fall far from its tree. Within the Jackson family, that tree featured a surgical scalpel and a rhinoplasty discount. LaToya Jackson, the fifth child of the renowned Jackson clan, once possessed a soft, radiant beauty all her own. During the early 80s, she established her identity with a solo music career, sultry album covers, and a style that was uniquely hers until her nose opted for a shrinking spree. By the early 90s, LaToya's nose raised eyebrows, primarily because her brows were now permanently arched from what appeared like a brow lift. Motivated or perhaps haunted by the surgical history of Michael, she followed the same path and then some. The more she modified, the less she looked like the shy, graceful sister fans knew. Her face transformed into a surgical maze, multiple nose surgeries leaving her with a narrow profile, cheek implants adding unnatural volume, chin augmentations, eyelid surgery, and enough filler to fill a small clinic. The result, a waxy, stretched appearance making fans wonder if the Joker had a sister. Her eyes, once warm, now seemed wide and frozen, the result of excessive blepharoplasty. Her smile, once gentle, became stiff. Even her skin tone seemed to change, matching the pale sheen mirroring her brother's later years. But what is perhaps most tragic about LaToya's transformation isn't just what was altered, it's what was lost. By trying to replicate an ideal that never truly existed, she removed much of what made her distinct. Her narrative serves as another chapter in the family's complex legacy with fame, identity, and the high cost of perfection. Dolly Parton, plastic fantastic and proud of it. Dolly Parton famously remarked, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap." And truthfully, she wasn't lying or expressing regret. In a celebrity world where celebrities hide their surgeons like a witness protection program, Dolly entered in heels, rhinestones, and a wink directly into the operating suite. No shame, no secrets. From the 1980s forward, the Queen of Country wasn't merely singing about heartbreak. She was re-engineering her whole face to maintain that sparkle. It began modestly. A small nip, a gentle tuck. But soon arrived the nose surgeries, the brow lifts, the eyelid procedures, and later facelifts tight enough to bounce a quarter off her cheek. Dolly has always shared the joke, but let's be real, sometimes the punchline landed a bit too close to the Botox. Over time, her previously soft, expressive features turned smooth, shiny, and suspiciously immobile. Her skin, flawless and somewhat plastic. Her eyes, large, bright, and permanently shocked. Her smile, as radiant as ever, yet a little less flexible. By age 60, she went full cartoon. Literally, she openly confessed she aimed to look like a showgirl version of Mother Goose. Goal achieved. Dolly became the ultimate living doll, part human, part fantasy, all glitter. And while most celebrities on this list gradually slipped into surgery denial, Dolly embraced it with both surgically enhanced arms. "If I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging," she remarked, "I'm going to get it nipped, tucked, or sucked." But beneath the sequins and silicone, there resides an undeniable truth. Dolly's sense of identity never shifted. Unlike many who lost themselves under the knife, she managed to preserve her heart, humor, and humanity, even if several other parts were reattached. She isn't a cautionary story. She's the exception proving the rule. But even Dolly will admit, being Barbie isn't easy, honey. Goldie Hawn. Forever young or frozen? Goldie Hawn once lit up Hollywood like a ray of sunshine. All golden curls, sparkling eyes, and that infectious, quirky laugh. But somewhere along the way, that iconic glow was traded for something tighter, shinier, and a bit too surprised. When she stepped onto the 2014 Academy Awards red carpet, jaws dropped. Her face was distinctly different. Plump cheeks, stretched jawline, and eyes that appeared permanently wide-eyed, as if she'd spotted paparazzi lurking in her closet. Experts guessed Botox, fillers, facelifts, and a possible eyelid surgery that took too much skin, leaving her gaze oddly frozen. Gone was the soft, natural beauty fans loved in Overboard and Private Benjamin. In its place was a face trying desperately to hang on, like a balloon pumped a bit too full. By 2017, her return in Snatched only stirred more whispers. Viewers couldn't decide what was more distracting, the punchlines or the plastic. To be fair, aging in Hollywood is brutal. But Goldie's change became a visual reminder of the thin line between preserving youth and losing your essence. Her smile still sparkled, but it didn't quite move the same. And that signature twinkle in her eyes seemed a bit too wide to be winking anymore. Goldie didn't vanish like some stars do. She stayed bold, vocal, and present. But her face told a story she might not have scripted. A story not of vanity, but of vulnerability, wrapped in surgical tape and hopeful intent.